You wake up. Your eyes are open. You can see the ceiling, the outline of your door, the faint glow of a streetlight through the curtains. But you cannot move. Not your hands, not your legs, not even your mouth. Something is sitting on your chest. You can feel the weight of it. And in the corner of the room, just at the edge of your vision, something is watching you. This isn't a dream. You are awake. And for a few unbearable seconds, you are certain something evil is in the room with you. Here's the strange part. This exact experience has been described almost word for word by people in Japan, Newfoundland, Nigeria, Egypt, Thailand, and Brazil. None of them talked to each other. Many of them lived centuries apart, and yet they all built the same monster. So what's actually happening to you, and why did humans everywhere invent the same demon to explain it? Let's start with the biology, because the biology came first long before the folklore. When you sleep, your body cycles through several stages. The deepest and strangest of these is REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming happens. During REM, your brain does something remarkable. It effectively switches off your muscles. Scientists call this REM atonia. Your body goes almost fully paralyzed, on purpose, every single night. Why would evolution build that in? Because without it, you would physically act out your dreams. You'd be running, fighting, flailing, while your brain thinks you're somewhere else entirely. REM atonia is a safety switch. It keeps your body still while your mind wanders. Most nights, this system works perfectly. You fall asleep, your body locks down, you dream, and by the time you wake up, the paralysis has already lifted. You never notice the gap, but sometimes the timing glitches. Sometimes your brain wakes up before your body does. Your eyes open. Your awareness returns. But the paralysis hasn't switched off yet. You are lying there, fully conscious and fully unable to move. This is called sleep paralysis. And on its own, it's frightening enough. Lying still, unable to speak, unable to call for help. But the paralysis isn't even the worst part. The worst part is what your brain does next. Psychologist Allan Cheyne, who spent years at the University of Waterloo studying thousands of sleep paralysis cases, found something remarkable. The experience isn't random, it follows a pattern. Most people report one of three things: a sensed presence in the room, pressure on the chest, or a feeling of intruding threat. Cheyne's research grouped these into recognizable categories that showed up again and again across different people, different backgrounds, different countries. Why would a malfunction in your sleep cycle produce something so specific? Because your brain, still half dreaming, is doing exactly what it's built to do. It's threat detecting. Even when you're paralyzed and terrified with no obvious danger present, your brain doesn't like unexplained fear. It needs a cause. So it starts filling in the blanks. It reaches into your visual cortex, your amygdala, your deepest instinctive alarms, and it builds a shape out of the dark. A shadow, a weight, a watcher. Your brain isn't lying to you. It's problem solving in real time, with broken tools. Now here's where it gets stranger. Because different cultures took this same biological glitch and gave it wildly different names, and yet the description underneath barely changes at all. In medieval Europe, they called it the mare, a spirit that sat on a sleeper's chest, and that word is where we get nightmare. In Newfoundland, fishing communities described the old hag, a witch-like figure that pins you down in the night. In Japan, it's called kanashibari, meaning bound in metal. In parts of West Africa, it's described as a spirit pressing the life out of you while you sleep. In Egypt, some describe a jinn sitting on the chest. In Thailand, a ghost called Phi Am. In Brazilian folklore, it's a small hag-like creature called the pisadera, said to stomp on the chests of people who fall asleep on a full stomach. The costumes change. The core experience does not. Weight on the chest. A presence in the room. Total helplessness. Folklorist David Hufford noticed this pattern decades ago when he was researching Newfoundland's old hag tradition. He went looking for a local ghost story. What he found instead was a consistent, physiologically grounded experience showing up across cultures that had never been in contact. His research helped push scientists to stop treating sleep paralysis as folklore and start treating it as a shared human phenomenon with a biological root and a cultural costume layered on top. More recently, neuroscientist Baland Jalal has taken this further, studying not just what people see during an episode, but how their own cultural beliefs shape the intensity of the fear. In his research, people from cultures with strong supernatural explanations for sleep paralysis, demons, spirits, witches, tend to report more terrifying, longer episodes than people who understand it as a harmless neurological glitch. The belief itself changes the experience, which tells you something important. The demon on your chest isn't just a leftover superstition, it's a feedback loop. Fear creates the story amplifies the fear, and the fear makes the next episode worse. So why did this become universal instead of staying a rare, isolated glitch? Because the underlying wiring is universal. Every human brain runs the same threat detection system. Every human nervous system locks down the same way during REM sleep. You didn't inherit a demon. You inherited a nervous system built for survival, one that's extremely good at spotting danger and not particularly picky about whether the danger is real. Think about what your ancestors needed that system for: a rustle in the grass, a shadow near the fire, a predator at the edge of camp. The people who reacted fastest to ambiguous threats were the people who survived long enough to have children. Hesitation was expensive. So your brain evolved to lean toward fear first and verify later. Most nights that system stays quiet. But when your body and mind fall out of sync during sleep, that same ancient alarm has nothing real to point at, so it builds something out of shadow and stillness. You are not haunted. You are running very old software on a very modern night, and this is where it circles back to you, right now in your own bed. Because that jolt you feel when you think you hear something downstairs at 3 a.m., that instinct to freeze before you even consciously register why, that's the same system. Most of the time it's wrong. Every so often, historically, it was the reason someone's ancestors made it to morning. Modern life rarely calls on this alarm anymore. You're not sleeping in the open, listening for predators. You're behind locked doors in climate-controlled rooms, further from real danger than almost any humans in history. But the alarm didn't get the memo. It's still fully armed, waiting for a target. And once or twice in your life, when your sleep cycle stutters at exactly the wrong moment, it will find one, even if that target is only a shape your own mind built out of nothing. So the next time you wake up in the dark, chest heavy, certain something is standing at the foot of your bed, you'll know what's actually happening. Your body is still asleep. Your mind is already awake. And in that gap between the two, your ancient nervous system is doing exactly what it was built to do millions of years ago, protecting you from a danger that was never really there at all.